Hey y'all, welcome back to Sip and Tea with the Max. It's your girl Melissa,
And I'm Crystal.
and today we're going to be talking about what it really means to live a soft life. Now that women have decentered men and the soft life phrase has become more trendy, what does the soft life really mean? So, Mom, I want you to start off. What do you feel like soft life means to you?
So I would say to me, it means being intentional about taking care of myself, mentally, physically, and emotionally as a whole. And I think that soft life is going to be different for everybody. So what it looks like to me may not look the same way to you, and so forth and so forth. But that's what it means to me. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I could definitely agree that it means like more than just what people are saying online because I think they really like materialize the term. And I think it's more than just materialistic things and taking trips and being in your feminine energy, and it's it's also about, you taking care of your mental, you working on your boundaries, you not being reactive, you going to therapy. I also think all of that plays into it. And it's more than just, material things as people online try to make it.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it's about proper resting, proper recharging, redefining what's important to me, not allowing other people to define me. And I feel like that's a big one for me. And I didn't realize it at the time. And so I'm still working on that. I would also say just some of the things that I feel like I've been doing with that is like allowing myself to not do anything. So when I first started focusing on the soft life, I would say, "Oh, I'm gonna be lazy today." And I would use the word lazy because it just felt unnatural. Like I'm not supposed to not do anything. And the word that I should have been using was rest. I am going to rest today. I am going to recharge today. I am going to focus on uh just being. But it was so uncomfortable and unnatural to me that I would say, "Oh, I'm going to be lazy today." And even with that, people like, "Oh, like what? Don't be lazy. That's not a good trait to have. You don't want to do that." And it's just kind of like I think that helped me understand that what's for me is for me. And that's why I say not letting other people define me because it's also part of what I would call the soft life. Like, even if I chose to use the word lazy, like if I wanted to empower that for myself, I could have. But the word that I really was trying to use was rest. Like, I'm going to rest today and I'm not going to do anything. And so if someone asks me if I'm available to do something, the answer would be no, I'm not available. I'm busy. And the busy part could be not doing nothing. But that's for me. It's not for anyone else. So learning to introduce myself to it did take some time, and I feel like it's still taking some time for me to be okay with taking care of myself. I also say some other things I did was kind of like what you said was going to therapy, like focusing on my mental health, especially if I know there were some things I needed to talk out and I wanted to get an unbiased opinion on it, someone who could direct me and focus me with helping me getting it out in the way that I needed to get it out. So that was one thing I did, and I didn't realize it until now that during that time period is also when I started drinking uh warm or hot tea. So now I love hot tea. I love reading the little quotes on the tea that says you can't see the tree for the forest, or today is a beautiful day, or whatever it is. But just sitting at a table without my phone on, without the TV on, without talking, looking out the window, drinking tea, to me, that is the soft life for me. I mean, I have some other stuff, but I want to hear like, what do you think about that? And tell me what else you may have.
Okay, yes. I definitely agree with you on a lot of things that rest is definitely something that I feel like is really overlooked. And it was something that I didn't start doing till I feel like more recently. And it's more like people don't really understand like how important rest is. And it's not just something that may be like doing absolutely nothing today. It can literally be like I need to rest my mind. Like I'm not, gonna sit in the bed all day because I'm physically tired, but it's like what about my mind? If I have so much stuff on my mind and I'm stressed about work or I'm stressed about this, it's like that's too much going on. So I do like that you brought that up and emphasize rest because I do feel like it is something really important that people look over. I also want to add I guess this can kind of go with the rest type of thing, but I'll say doing my shadow work or what people would call healing. That's just something where like I reflect on my life, I reflect on like things I feel like was a mistake, things I could have did better, things that I did right. It's just different stuff like that, like just reevaluating situations so I won't be having the same type of outcomes and things like that. Also I say living a soft life, um it's also like not entertaining people who don't meet me where I am.
Hmm.
And just kind of what I mean by that is like when you entertain people who are like not in the same place you are, and this is not always material. Like this is not always about money. It's not always about that. It's still about mindset. It's like if you're continuously talking to somebody who don't have the same mindset as you, you're always going to be off. Everything about your conversation, about your friendship, about y'all hanging out is always going to be off because y'all can't meet each other where y'all are at because it's misalignment. So I feel like people don't realize that affects them more than they think as well. Another thing that was I found that was important to me was that I stay away from people that's reactive or people who try to get me to be reactive. And I feel like that aligns with a soft life because when you're reactive, that means like your boundaries are getting pushed and you're very emotional and you allow what people do to make you, act aloud. And a lot of the times that's what people are wanting. Some people are unhappy, some people are miserable, and they want you to sink down to their level. So I feel like soft life, being in your feminine energy, is also controlling your emotions and not being reactive.
Okay, yes, I do think those were like some good ones as well. And I also feel like I part of the soft life for me is being intentional about who I am giving my time to.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I definitely agree with that, just because sometimes it's kind of like, well, I may feel obligated to give my time to this person for whatever reason, but now in this place, I don't feel obligated like I used to in the past. Some things for me that I also do is um, I use the dishwasher more. And I feel like that's just the thing that was like kind of like growing up. It's kind of like, oh, don't use the dishwasher if you only have like a couple of dishes or it's not a full load or you're wasting water or, it's just different reasons. But it's just like, I'm not going to use the dishwasher for just two dishes, but I am more intentional about making sure I use the dishwasher because why, why am I washing dishes by hand? When I have a dishwasher that will do the work for me. It doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like less work for me, just making sure I'm not putting unnecessary work on myself.
I wish I could have used the dishwasher when I was younger.
That's what I'm saying. Like it could have been used when I was younger. You could have used it when you were younger, but what is that like? I'm sure there were 50 reasons why we didn't use the dishwasher. But now it's just kind of like, why not? Like, why not use the dishwasher?
Yes. I do agree. If mine worked properly, I would definitely use it
But
all the time.
but I think that's the difference. It's kind of like you have a reason why you're not doing it as opposed to someone who like reason that's like out of your control because of the type of because of what's going on with your dishwasher. But someone who has a working dishwasher, you know, there's no reason, I'm not gonna say there's no reason, but this person can definitely use their dishwasher to make their life easier. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, I definitely do agree. That is something I can feel like that's a change in your day-to-day life that can make things easier on you.
hmm And I think one of the main ones for me right now is giving myself grace for things that I may not feel like was best for me in that moment, whether it's something that happened earlier in the day or 20, 30 years ago. Just not forcing myself to not be, I don't want to say beating up on myself, but I guess you could say beating up on myself, reliving that moment in my head, saying, "Oh, I could have did this, I could have did that," or "Oh, let me be prepared for if it happens again." All those things is putting torture on yourself. So it's like not even entertaining any of those conversations with myself and giving myself grace for whatever the situation may be and just say, "Hey, not even saying, hey, it didn't happen, but just being like, I'm stopping. I'm not going there. I'm not gonna rationalize why I don't need to think about it. I'm not gonna rationalize, oh, I'm not even gonna say, let me give myself grace. I'm just going to say, nope, stop. I'm not gonna think about it. Like, I did the best that I could do in whatever the situation is, or what happened, happened. And that's in the past. Like, there's nothing I can do about it now. Just allow myself to be present and to move forward and not to look back or think back. I think that's a very important one for me.
Yes, I do agree. I think that was something I started to work on like within the past few years as well too. So I definitely do agree with you on that one.
So I think that's most of what I have for me as far as like what I think the soft life is. It's also not about and I used to be big on this during that same time period. Like there was so many years where I would go to work sick. I would not take off work if I was sick because well for a lot of reasons like oh let me save my sick days in case I need them for myself or if I need them if you're at home like if my daughter's at home and you're sick and I need to be at home with you or if I have to go take care of someone else if this emergency comes up let me just not use my sick days let me try to save them in case of an emergency in case something happens and nothing happened. I mean, I'm sure there were like one-offs, but for the most part, nothing happened. And I think I got to the point where I was just like, why am I giving all of my energy to this company when I'm sure this company don't look at me the same way? Because let's say I put in my 2-week notice. They're gonna find someone in no time. They're not gonna skip a beat. The work is still gonna get done. Like things will still continue to run whether I'm at that company or not. So it's just me looking back at putting myself through things that were not necessarily the best for me because I feel like that's what I had to do. And I really didn't have to, but something told me that I needed to do it. So just reevaluating that, making sure I'm not doing things I don't want to do to make other people comfortable or to, as they say, what is it? Maybe like building a rapport with someone. So it's like, oh, like if I do this for you now, then that means you'll do something for me in the future. But now I'm kind of like, what if that day never comes? Like, what if it never comes? Or if it does come, then either you're going to say yes or no. I don't want to short myself now in hopes that you may one day do something for me. I feel like that was not helping me in any type of way. And it's just learning to look at things differently about myself, valuing myself more, valuing my time more, and understanding that even if something does happen that I may not like, or this person may could have assisted me, there will always be another way that I can find a solution as long as I am actively looking for the solution and believe that I can find it. I don't have to just say, oh, this one person's going to help me in that situation. I'm not saying be mean to other people. However, if something doesn't benefit me, I'm not gonna force myself to do it if I don't want to. If I want to, that's fine. If I don't want to, then that's another thing.
Yes, I do think that's true. I think that falls under like my boundary umbrella, and I would kind of, put it in there. And if I'm not feeling it that day, then it just won't get done, and I don't feel bad.
Yes, I absolutely understand and agree with that. And I also try to put myself in that situation, like just understanding like what if the shoe's on the other foot, what if I ask someone to do something for me? Like I think I used to feel like that person was obligated to do something for me if I had done something for them, because it's kind of like, well, why not? Like I've done something for you, why would you not do it for me? So just being like, well, do they have to do it for me? No, they don't have to do it for me. So giving them the same space that I give myself, and that helped me be like, oh, I'm not obligated to do anything for them the same way they're not obligated to do anything for me. So it still helps me rest in the moment because I'm still not forcing myself to do anything. And I do think that is all for me, unless you have something else you want.
No, I just kind of wanted to, reiterate that, soft life is it's not always about materialism and, people buying you things and things like that. Just make sure y'all are taking care of y'all mental as well, because it's just as important as being feminine to the outside world.
Yes, absolutely. And find what's important to you. And don't worry about if it makes sense to anyone else. What makes you happy? Like for me, massage just makes me happy. What makes you happy? And that's what you focus on. And that's going to be it for us today. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Sipping Tea with the Max. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.